All right, we got our kite, folks. I think I'm gonna fly the medium kite to start with. We got about a 12, maybe 14-mile-an-hour wind right now. Now, after spending almost an hour at catching bait, we're finally prepared to go after these giant kingfish. Again, when it comes to catching bait, spend as much time as necessary because there are gonna be a lot of days that will determine whether you have a good day or mediocre day. All right, we're gonna deploy our kite, and this is gonna be a part of the overall spread. I want you to follow with me, and let's watch Brad as he sets a spread that can catch a multitude of species from one location. Brad, if you would hold this, I'm going to climb up top a little bit. The reason I'm climbing up a little bit, on a bridge boat, you're going to have air pockets sometimes that you'll have to clear. So you got to get up here and to find some clean wind, if you will. If it starts sinking, just ease it out, tighten the line, and just slowly let it start to climb. It'll go right on away from the boat. Here in a second, I can give it to Brad. I think you got it now. Obviously, on a boat that doesn't have a bridge, you don't have that problem. Although T-top sometimes, I will stand on the gunnels, get up above it to clear it. All right, if you would pass me a rod, I'm going to go ahead and get the first rod clipped on. Okay, even though we're not quite there yet. Now, this is very important. When you put the clip on, I've seen a lot of fish lost because the angler didn't take time to check the tension. Now, using big baits, you're going to have more tension. Smaller baits, you can get away with less. But always check that.
Stop here. Mark.
All right, go ahead.
There it is.
All right, pass me the other rod, please, sir. Now, notice Mike is leaving the hooks in the boat attached to the rod. And the reason for that, you put a live bait out there right now, and he's liable to get in your gear. So with that in mind, keep your hooks in the boat until you get the kite out to a predetermined height that you want to fish at. Okay, now that we're past our second swivel, what I'm going to do now, when the third one comes up, I'm going to put a third bait on there. And the way we do that is we have portable clips. I'm going to clip this to a third swivel. I've got several within here. That way, if I pop one out, I can let out more line and I can clip on another bait. But I'm going to take and put this bait close to the transom. If you want to see some explosive strikes, and actually some of the most visual strikes you'll ever get in sport fishing, fly a kite bait close to the transom. Especially when Brad starts broadcasting the live pilchards, as well as the block chum baits and the little cut baits, should be able to get fish right up to the transom of the boat. And it's so much more fun when you see them that close. All right, should be coming up any time. Here we are. There's our third one. Put him on. These are just a little spring-loaded. Slip it on there. Mike, if you would pass me a third rod, I'll go ahead and get that clipped on here. Thank you, sir. Get this last ceramic ring. Now, if you will, look down here and notice how the corks are hanging out and the hooks are still attached to the rods. Again, that's very important. There's no way you can get hung up and get your lines fouled if you'll use this method in deploying your baits. And then once we ease this one out, again, Brad's going to ease this one close to the transom. I want to fly a bait less than about 15 yards from the boat. All right, Brad, I think that's about far enough. If you would, let's go ahead and lock her down right there. Let's go deploy our baits. Now, again, I want you to follow with Brad. He's going to show you a process that's going to attract more than one species. Although primarily we're targeting giant kingfish, he's going to show us how to catch grouper, possibly yellowtail, as well as other species at the same time. And again, I really recommend you doing more of this. In fact, look over here, Mike's already cutting some ballyhoo and some different chum baits. He's already starting with the hard chum. Now, Brad's going to reach in the live well, and Brad's going to start with the live pilchards. There can be a lot of effort in this, but I tell you, when you find bait, quality bait like this, it all comes together and works well. Now, while they're doing that, I'm going to take the bait net and I'm going to get my first one on the kite out. Okay, while they were getting the chum out, I went ahead and deployed my first kite bait out here. I put a thread fin herring on the first one. Next, I'm going to use a blue runner, possibly two blue runners for the other baits. But my far bait, I'm going to try a thread fin. Now, once we get the area chummed up and Brad gets a good feel for what size fish are here, we might go to smaller baits or we might stay with larger baits. He'll make that call when he sees the size of the fish that might be in the area. All right, about got him under the kite. One of the reasons you can see out there is we use these brightly colored corks is because you can see them. And if you use a 9-foot or so leader, it gets it above the horizon far enough that you can keep a tune on where your lines are. All right. About got him set. Now I want to set it basically right on the surface. That's what you want with these kite baits. You want them up there just thrashing and creating distress signals. Okay, we got him set. Leave him right there. All right, now I'm going to go to my second bait. Okay, got what I want. Oh, there we are. Now, this is the bait of choice. Again, if you can ever get blue runners, and blue runners are pretty easily found in most waters on the East Coast and the Caribbean. These will catch virtually every striking fish that swims, all the way from kingfish up to blue marlin. And we're going to use single hooks on this one, and I'm going right in the top of the head. And the amazing part about where you hook these baits is the fact that they'll swim virtually all day with hooks, like so. Get him out there and clear. Now they're strong baits. You want to get your line underneath. In fact, they'll pull quite hard. But reel up slow and see how they're swimming around. If I had other baits in the water close to the boat, I'd possibly be getting tangled right now. We're going to ease him up underneath. Boy, he's pulling hard. See how he's pulling that cork down? That's what they want to do. The whole time they're hooked in top of the head, they're struggling to get down under the surface. Consequently, they will attract fish from as far as a half a mile away. In fact, Captain Brad as well as Captain Bob Lewis have both witnessed sailfish tailing down sea, and there's no way they could see the fish or smell it, and they turn 90 degrees and come straight into the bait. That's because they can sense or feel those distress signals from long distances. Oh, he fish on. There he is. There he is. Yeah, he's on. Another fish on the blue runner, I think.
The other kite bait. Not sure who it is.
Oh, this one pulled. This one pulled. Beautiful, beautiful baits. Now, again, primarily we want to use big baits. However, I've caught many a 50-pound kingfish off smaller baits. The bigger baits just make a bigger disturbance on the water, and that's one of the reasons I like them so much. But look out here, if you would. I want you to see close hand what the kite bait does. Look at that little motor going on the surface there. I'm telling you, if there's a striking fish around, that bait won't last any time. And I challenge you to show me or tell me of a way that you might possibly know that's a better way to present a live bait than distress up on the surface. You know, when you troll them, you're dragging them in many ways, even if you troll slowly. And they don't put up near that kind of disturbance. But he's also got a good bit of room to move around.